Hi guys, it's Jawan, the gay guru with Simple Syrup. So basically, I wanted to start this blog or vlog because I've noticed within the gay community there's a lot of non-commitment. I guess the illusion of everyone else. Sometimes my straight friends ask me, "Oh man, you guys must like bang all the time," and I'm like, "Well, I mean, yeah, we can, but there is more to that than just sex." On top of that, it's always that other question of who's the man, who's the woman, or who's the feminine one, who's the masculine one. And for a long time, that kind of threw me off. It made me feel like, why do I have to choose if I'm a man or a woman in order to understand that I'm a gay man? You know what I mean? So it was always a confusing part of my growing up. So I wanted to create something that could at least guide people to a better understanding of themselves, especially within the gay community. Most of my references are going to be about gay men because of that's what I am, of course. So I did write this little guide or matching grid that I consider to be a pretty good matchmaking system. But what I'm going to do is kind of introduce each category through each video and kind of let you guys just fill it out and see what it's about. And then from there, I'll kind of guide you in which direction you should go if you really are looking for a committed relationship and a gay relationship. So you don't have to use those apps. I won't say their names because I don't need to market them more than they already are. But yeah, everyone's not out there just looking for the next BJ or trying to get off or trying to have some open relationship. I'm not judging those who do, but some of us really do believe in monogamy. We come from families and traditions that make us feel comfortable knowing that I'm respected and loved by one person and I give the same back. For me, I just want to introduce, I wanted to redefine the meaning of masculine and feminine. I did have this little piece I wrote. So I'm going to kind of just read from the Simple Syrup reference guide that I created to kind of get people introduced to how I think and what I'm trying to get them to at least open their minds to. I start off by saying the words masculine and feminine have been used for centuries to describe one's persona or what I call spirit. But by using such limited and defined words, we risk shutting out a vast majority of other groups of people, i.e., gay men, trans women, trans men, dominant, harder women type, or more softer men. With a limited grasp and definition of who we are as individuals, then we get a vague interpretation of who we are and who we expect we are or who we expect to be with. So sometimes, if you say, oh, I'm a bottom, okay, well, for some reason, people think, oh, you're the girl, you're the wife, you're the mother, you're all these things under this umbrella word that really don't exist because obviously people are multidimensional. They have a lot more facets to their lives and their minds and to their upbringing that changes those factors. My example would be, why would you call a woman a tomboy? To me, calling a woman tomboy, that's not very flattering. Um, you know, you're basically limiting her identity and that you're saying that she has to be something more than, if she dresses a certain way, acts a certain way, carries herself a certain way, there's something wrong with her. So let me just skip ahead and go ahead and keep reading. I said, one might stop and think, aren't you boxing others by creating more labels? I would respond by saying, absolutely. I said this because labels are good when they aid in identifying what a thing is. Labels are bad when they restrict or limit because there will always be another variable. There's always something else that's going to, like I said, another factor that comes into play with that. The same with that, I went in to say, we either are a man or a woman anatomically when each of us are born. That's a given. Doesn't matter about the spirit or the soul, how you really feel on the inside. Anatomically, we're just born with certain parts. That's it. I can be born with an extra freaking thumb coming out of my neck. That's just an extra ligament. It doesn't define my sexuality. It doesn't define my being. It doesn't define who I am as a person. It just defines anatomically what I am, and that's what that is. I went on to say, you know, um, but cognitively, each of us are more than merely male or female. Marinate on this scenario. How would you describe the little girl who grows up to be a tomboy but later in life identifies better with the men or with women but she's straight. I said you shouldn't call her masculine. You wouldn't, call her a tomboy is saying that she's masculine, like she's that of man, and that's not flattering. Like I said, it's something that I would not want to be called if I was a female. So it's that moment of trying to identify traits with your anatomical parts. That's not necessarily going to tell you anything about anyone. By calling, a woman masculine, I was saying this is kind of unflattering and, discriminatory. It cages her in, it limits her identity, it stops her inner growth. The correct label for what I would consider is a hard dominant type. If I met a woman who's a bit what we consider masculine, I would say that she's more hard dominant. She might have grown up around more boys. She might just be the alpha female and she's just used to being more assertive. Whatever that case may be, I would consider her hard dominant. I would not call her a tomboy or something of that nature. For me, I feel that it describes her persona, but also leaves the possibility for other variables such as personality type. An example of that would be someone who's more introvert than extrovert and is willing to take the lead. To grow as individuals, we need to first identify and understand what type of person we are so that we can correlate its organic group back to the spirit that society will recognize and apply. Remember, you are the character that you present, okay? I told myself this a million times. Even if I don't recognize it, there's a character that I portray to the world. It might be docile, it might be cold, it might be hard, what people call resting bitch face. You don't control that sometimes, but that is a character that comes along with that resting face. So just be prepared sometimes if people want to mislabel, but you still know who you are. That has nothing to do with anything else. I said, remember that the character you present to society. So if you want to be seen as genuine and confident, etc., you will need to learn what types of qualities you and your mate are bringing to a relationship that complements your idea of a true power couple. Now, for me, I brought this back to couples because the main goal for me is to help other gay men and women and transgender, all of us, better identify what we actually are meant to be with as far as a partner, a real partner, not someone who's just going to bring you into this gay community, tell you that you have to dress scantily, listen to every drama diva, whatever. That's a culture. That's not who we are. So I want people to learn how to separate the two. So what I did was I created some categories. So in there's 4 sections that I created, and each of them has 12 subcategories, which I call root characteristics and energies. All these things are what makes us tick. It plays a role in how we shape our durable characters and relationships. These innate qualities, along with the qualities we learn, we develop and flourish into contextual information that will be applied into our individual spirits, approach to life, purposes, and the functions that will provide the correlation to the answer that we seek. Now, this is just my brief introduction to Simple Syrup, the gay guru. If you want to continue along with me, I will continue to post each of the characteristics and you can kind of follow along. And then from there, as I said, if you have any other questions or comments, concerns, let me know. We'll talk about it. All right. Thanks, guys. Besos.